humbug. So, yeah, Merry Christmas. Lizzie has provided the tunes and the tinsel. Hi, Lizzie, Merry Christmas. We've been very busy with many changes happening at Amy's at the moment. Therefore, our 12 Days of Christmas videos that we're starting here, we're just going to have to do 6 all together, because we haven't got round to it yet. So we're going to start you with basically the first half of the workout. I'm going to show you ways of doing things with equipment, without equipment, a little bit of everything. But in the first video, what we were going to do is show you how to dancing. Is talk about a warm-up. Now, a warm-up, I'm not going to bother you with a warm-up. You know, it can be something as simple as a little bit of jogging on the spot. If you've got steps, it can be as simple as going up and down on the steps. Stairs in the house, a walk, a little run, whatever. I want you to warm up for about 5 minutes until you get a light sweat on. So the next thing that we're going to do, and we're still on the first day of Christmas here, are some dynamic stretches. We like to do stretches at the beginning of a workout where we keep moving, so it keeps the blood moving around the muscles. So for the quads and hamstrings, we might do some swings, the favourite of mine, do about 10 of those. Then we might do chest and back, here, about 10 of those each. We might do some side bends, and we might do some twisting, okay? But just make sure that you stretch out all of the muscles in the body, certainly all of the major ones. That is day 1 of the 12 days of Christmas. Day 2. The first core exercise, I like to start a workout with core to switch it on, because that's what's going to hold the rest of your body in place and support it and stabilize it. So, the first very, very simple exercise that we're going to do for our core, and I'm going to do 3 different core exercises. But the first one, sorry, I've got a bit of tinsel stuck between my toes. So, it's plain and simple leg extensions. So you would start here, here, here. The lower you go, the harder this will be, but your lower back must be kept on the floor. I would prefer it if you had your head and shoulders off the floor like that to bring in the upper abdominals. But we're going to do anywhere between about 12 to 20 of these before we have a little rest. And we're going to do that 3 times. So rest for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. That's the same for throughout this workout, depending on how you feel, shorten or lengthen the rest. So we're going to start leg extensions. Lower the better. That's day 2 of Christmas. The other thing that you can do instead of leg extensions, if you're a little bit more advanced, is do what we call a stability ball jackknife. I just want to show you some different stuff and some different equipment. The further away from the ball you go, the harder this will be. So it's just my toes on it at the moment, so that's nice and difficult. If I want to make life a bit easier, I'll just come back here and bring the knees in there. Again, about 3 sets, 10 to 12. Don't let the hips sag low. It's bad for the lower back. And another bit of equipment for that same move again could be the TRX. So exactly the same thing. By putting your feet in here. Obviously I've got more weight on my hands this time. In. Or you could get naughty with it by taking the knees out to the side. Again, we're going to work pretty much always on about 3 sets of 12. We use the number 12 because it's the perfect amount between strength and endurance. A good way to gauge whether it's the right number for you or whether you're using the right weight is that you should be really struggling and not be able to get out many more reps than 12. If that's not the case, increase the weight that you're using. Okay? Now, what's the next thing we're going to do? Wrap around muscles in the core. There's no point in just hitting the stomach. So we're going to do something called a Russian twist. Arms out here, twist from side to side to side. To make it a bit more difficult, the feet come up off the floor and we twist there. If you want to get naughty with it, you might have a med ball or a kettlebell, or a bottle of water, or a couple of cans of beans, and take them from side to side. You might have seen the boys in the gym bouncing the med ball. Here. Totally cheating. Don't do it. Don't touch the med ball on the floor, and don't get involved with this rubbish either. It's no good for your alignment, and it's a little rest. So don't do it. Again, about 3 sets of 12, break in the middle. Last part of the core that I would like to do, Lizzie, your head is going like that. But the last part of the core, and again, I've done planks in more detail in the past, but it's a great way of getting the whole core, so you can either come into a full plank like this and hold it from anywhere from sort of 20 seconds to a minute or two, depending on what your strength is. As usual, don't let the hips sag down. So with the plank here, we could come to the side and come to the other side. And if you're still at the beginning of the training regime, you may want to pop your knees on the floor to make it less pressure. Okay? So that's the core part of the 12 days of Christmas workout. I would put that together like this. I would start with the leg extensions, go almost immediately onto the Russian twist, and then straight onto the planks, then rest, then do it again, then rest. Lizzie, what are you laughing at?
I'm singing.
You're singing. Good. And then do it again. If you don't have time for 3 sets, do 2. If you don't have time for 2 sets, do 1. It's better than nothing. Now that we've switched the core on, we are going to move on to the 5th day of Christmas. And what I want to do is start working the full body. So it's quite cardio as well. The more muscles that are working in your body, the harder your heart has to work. I don't know why anybody would go out running for miles and miles and miles where they can stand and do weight work and have it be much more effective. So for our full body work, we're going to start off with some Christmas dumbbells. So we're going to start. We're going to start with what we call thrusters to begin with. This is something that I use very, very often at the beginning of a training regime with someone. These are quite heavy. I've got 8 kilograms here. You might want to start with something like 2 or 3, depending on where your strength is at the moment. So a thruster, we squat down. I've just seen the tinsel's done it again, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's best if you don't have tinsel hindering you. So we inhale, down, exhale, up again. Okay? If it's too much to press the weights up, just hold them here and do the same again. Excuse my form, I've got a tinsel catastrophe happening here. So we can either do that for full body. If you would like to get naughty with it and bring in the TRX, we can make this offset work instead. So what I'm going to do is put this into one-handled mode. If you don't know how to do that, get somebody to do it who does. Take one dumbbell, squat down, hold the back in a good position so that it's nice and protected, stand and press. Inhale down. The TRX stops you when you need it to, so you can get nice and deep here. Press. What you're not doing is leaning back against it the whole time and letting it do the work. You're here and you stand on your own. Now, I would do less repetitions because you've got to do 1 set for each side, so you might want to do 8 squats for each side on that one. 3 sets of that. Okay, and then another full body exercise, I like to use 2. One to bring the heart rate up a little bit. The first one I'm going to do is something you can do kind of without much equipment. So I'm just going to do a little step here, and I might do something like start with the press up, come up onto the step, and then I might do a decline press up and turn around and go back the other way onto the step. Good job. If you want to make life a little bit more difficult, inchworm if you want to make life a little bit more difficult, and turn around. So a little routine like that you might want to do for a minute or 2. It's working the muscles and your heart rate. If you want to bring a little bit of equipment into that, you might want to mix it up a bit. So I might start with a press up, pick up the dumbbells, step and press, come down, tricep dip, turn around and start again. Push up, step, press, tricep dip and turn. So that's another little sequence there. Or I might want to do something like lifting a dumbbell here, so a little mini deadlift or a med ball or whatever. 1, 2, 3. Exactly the same thing. 1, 2, 3, backwards and forwards. So we're twisting, we're going up, we're going down, we're going to the side, we're going forwards, using all of the planes. Depending on your level, you choose how long you're going to be doing that for. Could be a minute, could be 30 seconds, could be 5 minutes. Alright? So, we've got 2 full body exercises there. The last one that I really like as a full body exercise, just to bring something else into it. Hey! The kettlebell! She's 20 kilograms. She doesn't like us to talk about her weight. Alright, so another great way to really get the body moving at the beginning of the workout is with a kettlebell swing. Don't do this with a 20 kilogram necessarily. You might want to start with something like a 6, an 8, even a 4. Please have proper instruction. Lizzie's watching you very, very closely to make sure I don't hurt myself. So, with a kettlebell swing, all of the work comes from here. I'm not lifting this 20 kilograms with my arms, I'm doing it with my bum. So I sit back into the swing and I thrust forward with my hips. Kettlebell's coming to shoulder height and my arms are just guiding it rather than doing any lifting or any work. So, you might want to do 30 swings, you might want to do a minute of swings, you might want to do 2 minutes of swings, you might want to do 10 swings, you choose. For our 6 days of Christmas so far, we have the warm-up and the dynamic stretches. We then start with 3 different core exercises. Okay? Leg extensions, or one of the variations, twists, one of the variations, and planks. We're then moving on to full body exercises, which could be just plain and simple squats, the thrusters that we looked at, the offset work that we looked at, kettlebell swings as well, and then we did something plain and simple that was a bit less weighty, a bit more about moving through all of the planes that we can. Just with the use of a step, or if you've got dumbbells, water bottles, whatever, that's fine. We've got naughty with most of them, and if you're very lucky, we might have the little doggies with us for the next 6 days of Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas. What? Why are you shaking your head at me?
I won't be here.
Turn it off.